What is going on, everybody? We are back from Patreon with my weekly NFL picks here on YouTube. I tell you what, man, it has been a really rough month of picks. Definitely the worst month of picks in the 3 years since I've been doing this. We are 9-16 on plays, 7-15 against the spread, so it's really good to hit a new month here with an opportunity to finish strong, especially after last week. I felt really good about the picks last week, a good bounce back week. We did hit the Titans upset over the Colts, but the Cardinals missed the game-winning field goal. Then we had the Giants over the Bengals. Daniel Jones gets injured. The Bengals return a kick for a touchdown. The Bengals were really severely outplayed, but they squeak in a backdoor cover that was really frustrating. And then the Steelers, we all saw that game yesterday afternoon. They kept stalling in the red zone all day. They give up a touchdown off a fumbled punt, and then they were still almost going to cover that 10-point spread until a sloppy 60-yard Trace McSorley touchdown literally tripled the Ravens' passing yardage for the day and let the Ravens cover on the back door. So really rough week to end a rough month, but I've never finished negative against the spread, and I don't plan on starting this year. We're still doing really good overall. Our upsets are still fine, but we got to improve the plays, the spread, all that stuff. So I do want to remind you guys, if you want to follow these picks videos the rest of the year, they will be available each week on my Patreon. That is patreon.com/ThatFranchiseGuy. All right, let's get started here. Our first game here is going to be Detroit at Chicago. Detroit with that ding-dong, the witch is dead mentality that we often see after firing the head coach, especially in a situation like this where I really don't think Detroit and their players really enjoyed playing for Patricia. I think they kind of knew almost from the get-go that he just wasn't the real deal. And if you're getting a rejuvenized, excited defense for Detroit, I actually really like how they're going to play in this game. Especially with how Chicago is playing on the offensive side of the ball right now. Arguably the worst offense in the NFL. It is going to be Trubisky again this week. So I'm going to take Detroit here, and that's actually going to come with a contingency as far as if I'm betting this. So that is going to revolve around if Kenny Golladay plays. He is very much questionable right now. This Detroit offense has looked so much different with him than without him. Without Golladay in the lineup, I don't know if they're going to have enough offensive firepower to go against the Bears here, who are still trying to scrap into the playoffs. But yeah, if Kenny Golladay plays, I'm going to make this a spread pick and an upset pick. If there is no Kenny Golladay, I will still take Detroit, but not going to be betting the game. Then we have Cincinnati at Miami. No reason Miami should lose this game. Cincinnati seems to find ways to cover the spread this year with or without Joe Burrow. So 11.5 points. I would be worried if it was Fitzpatrick that it might just happen to be one of those bad Fitzpatrick games. He hasn't really had one yet this year. And if it's Tua, which I don't think it is Tua, I don't know if they would have the firepower to cover the 11.5 points. But I do think Miami wins without too much of a sweat, 23-12. I like Miami's defense in this game quite a bit. Then we have Indianapolis at Houston, just a 3.5 point spread for Indianapolis. And I'm going to stay away from this game. I do think the Colts win, but still lots of question marks for the Colts as far as injuries and COVID stuff. I think if DeForest Buckner plays, I'd be leaning much more towards Indianapolis covering the 3.5 points. If this gets down to 3, I do not mind it. But as we sit here today with how Deshaun Watson is playing, I'm just going to say the Colts win this one, but I don't have a ton of confidence in it. I could see an upset here if Indianapolis has a bunch of guys out and Watson plays really well. Then we have Jacksonville at Minnesota. I see this as a really easy day for Minnesota. I think they match up incredibly well against Jacksonville. Minnesota, if they're going to struggle, it's usually going to be against a good pass rushing team, and that is definitely not Jacksonville. I think they're going to have a really fun day of offense inside US Bank, indoors, against probably the worst defense in the NFL. And inversely, I think Minnesota is going to be able to get the best of Mike Glennon and have a pretty good day on defense. So really no reason Minnesota shouldn't win this. I almost said bet the spread, but Jacksonville can score, and you're always worried about a backdoor cover with that many points. So we're going to go with Minnesota with a high confidence pick, 31-17. Then we got the Raiders at the Jets. Another game that I definitely could see the Raiders covering this one. No reason they should lose here. The Jets, frankly, want to lose, which is always the kind of team you want to bet against. But I came close to saying bet the spread. I'm actually going to have a little parlay play here, including the Vikings and the Raiders and the Dolphins. Just a little spoiler alert. We'll get to that in just a minute. But yeah, Darnold, you never know if he's going to have one of his 2 or 3 good games of the season against a Raiders defense at home. It could be that this week, but I still think the Raiders find a way to win this game, not lose 3 straight. Gruden is just clearly the better coach in this game. So we're going to go with the Raiders 24-17. Then New Orleans at Atlanta. We have our first play here, and it's going to be Atlanta. I think the Taysom Hill luck runs out here for the Saints. I think Atlanta, having just played Taysom Hill, comes much more prepared the second time around. Atlanta playing very good football right now, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I do think this is a low-scoring game. I don't think that Matt Ryan is going to light up the scoreboard against New Orleans. I think we probably get Julio Jones back this week. But yeah, I think in a low-scoring game, I'm going to take Matt Ryan over Taysom Hill. You get the better quarterback at home getting points here. So that's always a good indicator for an upset. So we're going to go with the Falcons 21-17 in the upset pick play. Cleveland at Tennessee. The 6-point spread was a lot when I saw that. I do understand why Tennessee is favored in this game, but these two teams are quite similar. Really, the main difference is Tennessee has A.J. Brown. But Cleveland is getting Myles Garrett back this week, and he's going to be going up against a backup left tackle. So there's some dynamics here that I think could make this a really interesting, close game. I could see this going either way. I'm going to take Tennessee here, but definitely not a game I'm betting on. More a game I'm excited to watch, and you're going to have a lot of running in this game. So this is one of those games where whoever brings it from a physicality, mental toughness aspect is probably going to walk away with the win in this one. Just a lot of old school running, and really going to have to tackle well on both sides of the ball here against Chubb and Derrick Henry, who are doing it as well as anybody else right now. Then the Rams at the Cardinals, another really interesting game. 3-point spread for the Rams. I do think the Rams match up really well against the Cardinals. Aaron Donald up the middle of that offensive line. You have Jalen Ramsey to match up against DeAndre Hopkins, and if you can take DeAndre Hopkins away, the Cardinals really do take a step back on offense. We definitely saw that same thing transpire last week with Stephon Gilmore following DeAndre Hopkins around. So I do think that is going to play an impact here. I originally wanted to take the Cardinals, but with the Rams coming off a loss, I do think they bring it. They dominate the line of scrimmage in this one and come away with the win. So honestly, if you really like the Rams, I wouldn't talk you off the ledge of betting on them, but for now, I'm just going to go the no confidence pick. Hard to bet against Kyler Murray. Coming off a tough loss like that, I could see him coming out and playing really well as well. So those last 2 games are going to be really fun games to watch, maybe not so much to gamble on. Then we have Philadelphia at Green Bay. I disagree with the 9-point spread here. Philly is just such a tough team to bet on. I understand that. But 9 points here in a matchup that I actually like how Philly matches up. They're going to get Zach Ertz back this week. Green Bay has nobody that can cover tight ends. So you get Ertz, you get Goddard going. It's not like the Packers have this amazing group of corners to dominate these receivers. I think Jalen Reagor is going to have some space. And inversely, if any team can match up with Green Bay's offense, it really is kind of Philly, because you have Darius Slay to follow Devontae Adams around, and then this sloppy group of corners is going up against a bunch of other backups. So matchup-wise, I do think Philly can serve well in this game. We saw Philadelphia go into Green Bay and win last year as well. I am picking the Packers to win this game, but I am going to go bet the spread on the Eagles. I think 9 points is a lot. This is going to be an afternoon game. The Eagles kind of still have that primetime feel, especially the defense is playing really well right now. It's not like my favorite bet of the year here because the Packers offense is really clicking right now, but I do think Philly matches up well for a lot of different reasons, and this could be a closer game than Vegas seems to think here. So I'm going to go with Philly on the spread against Green Bay. Then we have New England at the Chargers. This is a pick'em game. This is going to be a really fun game to watch here. I'm going to take New England, just superior coaching in this game. New England has also, I should say, Bill Belichick has also a phenomenal track record of confusing rookie quarterbacks, and as good as Justin Herbert has been, he does seem to be a quarterback that might be able to get confused. You're going to have Gilmore on Keenan Allen, a good secondary to match up against the Chargers. So I'm going to take the Patriots to win this one. I don't think it'll come easy. I'm going to go 23-20. The over-unders in Patriots games continue to be surprisingly high, and I'm going to make that a pick here, under 47.5. So there's your pick on that one. I just think this is a team that kind of has found their identity. I like how they match up, but I do think it is a scrappy defensive game that goes under 47.5. Denver at the Kansas City Chiefs. Going to take the Chiefs here, 30-20, 14 points. Always just hard to go with, but I am going to make this the final leg of a 4-team parlay play, which is always dangerous, but I really like the Chiefs to win this game. I like the Raiders to beat the Jets, and I like the Vikings to beat the Jags, and I like the Dolphins to beat the Bengals. So betting for the most part here on good teams to beat really bad teams, really important games for these teams. You're looking at really 4 of the 6 or 7 worst teams in the league that we're betting against this week, and all kind of top half teams with the Dolphins, Vikings, Raiders, and Chiefs. So feel pretty good there about that parlay. We're going to go with it. You don't have to worry about spreads. You just need those favorites to win. And that pays about even. So we're going to make that a play. Then we have Buffalo at San Francisco. Really surprising spread here, just 1.5. Weird to me. You know, San Francisco, aren't they playing this game like in Arizona or something because they can't play in Candlestick? Not that home field really matters, but this isn't actually a home game for San Francisco from how I understand how that's playing. But Buffalo, I'm going to take them to win, but Vegas seems to be onto something here with the 1.5 points. I kind of get it. You know, they really trust San Francisco's offense with or without Jimmy Garoppolo. I just think that San Francisco doesn't have the defensive firepower to really keep Buffalo down as long as they're going to need to. I think Buffalo's defense is going to come prepared for San Francisco, so I'll take the Bills, but I'm staying away here. I don't mind the 1.5, but I wouldn't be stunned if San Francisco pulled an upset here. Then we got Washington at Pittsburgh. I'm kind of done betting against Washington, so we're not going to have a play here. Pittsburgh should win this game. This defense should absolutely eat against Washington at home after they kind of embarrassed themselves. But Pittsburgh, 10 points with the way they're playing on offense right now, I'm going to stay away from that, especially against a good Washington defense. I do think they win, but we're going to go 20-17. Then Dallas at Baltimore, the final game of the week here. No spread yet. I am definitely leaning towards liking Baltimore in this game. I think they showed a ton of fight against Pittsburgh. They understand the importance of this game and every game for the rest of the season. Now, this is going to obviously come down to if Lamar Jackson cannot get off of the COVID list, because if they have to trot that offense out there again, I don't know if they can keep Dallas and these receivers down long enough to win that game. You're not going to get fortunate enough for any offense to play as bad as Pittsburgh's offense played against them on Wednesday afternoon. So even if you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys coached by Mike McCarthy here. So we'll have to see who's suiting up at quarterback for Baltimore. But as we sit here right now, I'm going to take the Ravens. Obviously very contingent on that one. Lots of things up in the air for a game that's not getting played till next Tuesday or maybe even next Wednesday. I think it's next Tuesday. But yeah, there's your picks, man. I'm really hoping to bounce back here in December. Again, if you want to get these picks videos every single week, you can get them on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/ThatFranchiseGuy. If not, just hit that like button, please, to help support the channel. Let me know in the comments down below where you disagree. Love to interact with you guys. Cheers, as always. Should have the next Falcons episode up this evening. Looking forward to that. But we'll see you guys then. Peace out.